Okay, good morning, Ridgewood. Happy April. We are joined today by Mr. Nyhuis. Mr. Nyhuis, welcome. How you doing?
I'm great. It's good to see you guys as always.
That's great.
Good
Good to
morning,
see
Mr.
you.
Nyhuis.
Mr. Nyhuis, can you just give everyone out there just the background of what you do at Ridgewood High School and yeah, just what you do.
Sure. Well, for the past 12 years, I've been the director of guidance, handle a lot of college admissions counseling with my guidance counselors. I have 7 guidance counselors dedicated to college applications and admissions and scheduling and, peer-to-peer contacts every day with, your kids. And, I have one counselor who handles, just the freshmen. That's John May with Freshman Focus. And I also deal with a lot of the curriculum issues at the school and getting that approved from each department and, so that all of our courses and state requirements are up to date.
So, Mr. Nyhuis, this has been, a unique time, in our country's, in the world's history. How have you been dealing with this personally? What's been going on in your life at home, and how have things been for you?
It's been challenging. I've been actually going into work as much as I can just because I need a routine. I've been trying each night before I go to bed, to make a schedule for the next day. I think that's important to have some type of structure, and I think that's a good idea for most people. Just when I exercise, when I check emails, when I'm I have obviously I keep appointments with parents, with kids, with you guys, and we have our weekly meetings and things like that. So I do try to map out my days, which has been helpful. But it's tough. I'm recently divorced, so sharing my kids back and forth and organizing that and deciding whether we should be leaving them at one house or another. It's been, that's been a really tough thing as well. So, but luckily we're both working together with that and things have been good so far. Thanks.
Mr. Nyhuis, I heard you have many siblings, so a few questions here. How many siblings do you have? Can you name them all? And how does growing up with that many siblings help you as an educator and as an administrator?
Barry, Brian, Jill, Pam, Danny, Jimmy, Glenn, Jeff, Mike.
How many is that?
I have 6 brothers and 2 sisters. So there's 9 of us all together. And growing up was quite interesting in the Nyhuis household. I learned how to eat very fast because I wanted seconds. And, it's most of us are, most of the guys are, except my brother Barry. He's the oldest, and he's the runt of the family. He didn't make 6 foot, but all of us are over 6 foot, and usually anywhere between 220 pounds and 200, and probably my brother Jim is probably pushing 260. He's a big boy. But yeah, it's I got a great family, and it was in terms of how they've shaped me and my job, they a lot of lessons. I mean, from my family, they taught me to, really, be assertive and because you had to be, you had certain areas of the house you wanted, growing up when I was real young, we had 2 TVs, so you had to grab one. You know what I mean? But other than that, I mean, I would never trade that away. It was awesome.
So, Mr. Nyhuis, one thing that I've appreciated working with you over the last, almost 9 years now, is your leadership, and I think a lot of the faculty recognize that as well. Could you speak to just your thoughts on how the school has been handling this situation that we're in. Just
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, thank you. And second of all, you know, I'll start with you guys because I know you guys the most, and you know, I've been very, very impressed with the work you guys have been doing. I mean, simply what we're doing right now. You know, I know we talked yesterday, Chris, about the number of views that certain people are getting. By the way, I better get more views than Tom Gorman. You know, I just think it's creative ways of getting, you know, people to get to know us a little bit better when we can't be together. You know, I think every one of you guys getting a Google Classroom and communicating with your kids individually and, you know, keeping meetings, you know, as much as we can with parents. And, you know, like all of these are creative ways of, you know, just keeping in touch when we can't be in the same room. And then as far as the teachers, you know, I've been talking to, you know, different teachers from, you know, through email, sometimes by phone. And I think they're adjusting. But everything I'm hearing, like we're doing things like, I mean, you got to think about how this happened. I mean, we weren't giving much time to plan. So I'm very, very impressed with the teachers and what they're doing. And I still think they're figuring things out. And looking ahead, I do think that we'll be able to use some of these lessons, strategies, skills in everyday lessons once we get back to so-called normal.
That's a great point. Speaking of so-called normal, what are you most looking forward to when we do get back to normal?
Going out to dinner. You know, there's a lot of things actually. I mean, I miss being with people. I mean, this is great. I see your faces. We're talking. You know, I miss the live interactions. I miss, you know, just being in the building and feeling the energy. You know, there's nothing like, you know, like when you're in a, you know, a freshman focus class or when you walk into a classroom and you're observing and you see the, you know, the bustling hallways and things like that. I mean, you know, so there's a lot of things that I miss, but I do think this has taught us really how to slow down as well. And I think that's an important lesson to learn too for everybody.
That's a good point. All right. We're going to enter the rapid fire round here.
Oh boy.
Okay. So get ready here.
All right.
All right. I know this answer, but favorite sports team?
Cowboys.
Favorite movie?
Good Will Hunting or Shawshank Redemption. Like them both.
Coolest place you've ever visited?
I liked Salt Lake City, Utah.
Favorite restaurant that you're going to eat at when this is all done?
I like Batagra in Hawthorne.
Growing up, who was your hero that you looked up to?
Wow. I mean, I'd have to say my brother Dan. I try to emulate him. He's a dentist, and you know, he's a great guy. But hope my other brothers aren't watching this.
And we learned a lot about you today and your family. But what's one thing that maybe we don't know about you that that we didn't get to today?
I mean, some people know this, some people don't. You guys might, but basically my family has a farm in Pennsylvania, Honesdale, Pennsylvania. And every summer we go up and we harvest about 2,500 to 3,000 bales of hay and sell it to some local farms around here in Mahwah. But we have all old equipment. You guys should come up sometime. Sean Case and Adam Brunner have been there. And I don't know if Adam will ever come back because we work pretty hard, but it's actually great work. And you're out in the fields, you know, it's beautiful, you know, in between, you know, like there's two crews, there's one field crew and one barn crew. And it's really fun. And it's a family thing.
That's great. Mr. Nyhuis, we really appreciate you taking a few minutes, and we know you're very busy, still running the Ridgewood High School. So thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, Mr. Nyhuis. We appreciate it.
My pleasure. You guys keep this up. This is really great. Thank you very much.
All right, Mr. Nyhuis.